Hi loves, it's Lacey and welcome to our space. So, are you a crafter that does craft shows? Do you own your own small business or are you looking to start a small business? If you are, I am here to show you ways that Cricut can help you stand out from the crowd with all the other small businesses out there. So whether you own an Etsy shop or you're selling things out of your home on Facebook Marketplace, Cricut has something for you. And I want to thank Cricut so much for sponsoring this video. So let's jump into our first DIY. So as you can see here, I have my logo on the side of my Cricut. I also have it on a little receipt holder. So to make this, I am going to be uploading my logo with Cricut Design Space. All I'm going to do is open up Design Space and upload it from the side, and then when it prompts me, I'm going to mark it as complex cut because this is an intricate cut. It's a rather large logo, and so we're going to go ahead and save that as a print and cut file. Now this is the very first time that I'm going to be using print and cut, so I'm excited to see how it goes. So once I've selected print and cut, then I'm going to save it, and it is going to then be in my system, and I can put it over onto the canvas. And as you can see, I'm sizing it to fit the size that I like. I'm going to duplicate each one of these by hitting duplicate up in the upper right hand corner, and then I'm going to put a box over all of them, and I can duplicate several of them at one time. Once I get as many as I want on the canvas, which is going to be 9 here, I'm going to put a box around the entire thing so I can grab them all and then hit attach at the bottom so they'll stay in one set. And then I'm going to hit make it. But unfortunately, this was a little bit too big for what I wanted to make, and so I had to resize it down. So in order to use this, I'm going to be using Cricut's printable sticker paper, and that means I'm going to have to do it on a mat. So I'm really excited to use this paper, and I'm going to take a single sheet of it, follow the directions, and I'm going to place it in my printer. I have an HP printer, and it's a few years old, but it works really well. It is the HP OfficeJet 6962. I'm pretty sure any newer printer will work with this, and I'm using the printable sticker paper in clear as I'm picking here for my machine. So once I have it all printed out, I'm going back to my computer and I'm going to follow the prompts that it tells me, but I'm going to change the default pressure to a more pressure to make sure that I get through the sticker paper really well. Then I'm just going to load my machine, and it's going to measure to make sure I have enough product on there to be able to cut it out. And then because it's going to be cutting printable sticker paper, once I press the play button on it, it is going to look for the sensor for the little black line that's going around my printable part. It's sensing that and trying to detect exactly where it needs to cut all of my images out of that center part. So that's what it's doing here. It's just checking to make sure it does have that black border. Once it finds all of that, it's just going to cut like normal. And I sped up the footage here because these little logos are quite small. I wasn't thinking properly on how this was going to cut out. This, like I said, was the very first time I used this printable sticker paper. So these cut out a little bit strange. You will see here that when I unload my machine, one of my actual logos already moved, and the little clear pieces stuck to each other and to the top of each one of the stickers. I flipped it over and peeled my mat back, and the more pressure was just a bit much, I do believe, for this, but I wanted to make sure they were printed out. So I thought, let's just go ahead and see if we could salvage them. And I could. I ended up being able to get them all out, though some of them didn't cut all the way through and some of them were kind of tricky, but they looked really cute. And as you can see, I place one on the side of my Cricut Maker 3, and I absolutely love how it turned out. And then I took another one and I just stuck it on this little clear receipt holder that I got from Dollar Tree. I could see already that it was receipts, so I didn't really need to label it, but I liked putting my logo on there because then I would know it was receipts for Lacee space. So I thought I'd try this again on a bigger logo piece. I'm still going to be using the printable clear sticker paper, but this time I'm placing an offset around it. And since the entire logo is going to be a little bit bigger, I sized it bigger, I'm hoping that it cuts out just a little bit better and the pieces don't move. So I'm doing the exact same thing. I sized it to the size that I wanted. I put a square around it and attached the offset to the logo, and now I'm cutting it out the same way. When I press the play button, it's going to look for that black line, and that's what it's doing here to make sure that it knows where my cuttable part is on the inside of that, and then it cut it out. I'm flipping my mat over, and now I'm taking it off, and my logo is perfect this time. I do believe it's best to put an offset on these. So here I'm showing you I have a cake stand from a Target. I've had this in my possession for quite a while. I love cake stands. If you've been on my channel before, you know this. And so I decided to go ahead and stick my logo on this cake stand, because when I used to do craft shows a long time ago, I used to take all kinds of stands and stuff to put some of my items on it, and I thought this would be perfect for display here. Now, I did let this paper completely dry from the ink before I cut it and before I placed it down, and it is not dishwasher safe, and if I were going to be using it on a regular basis, I would make sure I would put some coating on it to protect it. So now, this time, I have decided I want to use some printable vinyl. Cricut has these printable vinyl sheets, and we are going to be doing the exact same thing with these as we did with the clear printable sticker paper. I already resized and placed several of the logos on this paper, and as you can see, it's a bigger surface area that it's allowed for the cut. And so I loaded it into my mat the same exact way. It sensed where the cut pattern was, and now it's just cutting them all out. And I have to say, I absolutely love this vinyl. I decided to do some larger ones as well because these seem to cut so much more smoothly than the clear sticker paper did, especially in the small size. So now I have this little cup blank. It's like a thermal cup. It's a little cheap one. I think I got it from Joann's, and I'm just going to weed out the little bitty spots here on the printable vinyl in the larger size. I do believe this is almost 3 inches in diameter, and I'm going to just place one here on the outside of this cup. And this is not waterproof either. It's not dishwasher safe. So if I were going to sell these, I would have placed a laminating sheet across the top of it first and then cut it out before I even cut out the images. And that way it would be able to be at least hand washed. I probably still would put a note saying it's not dishwasher safe. Or you could Mod Podge over the sticker before you put it on. I have done that in the past, and that works as well, but still I would have them wash it by hand. So now it's time to make something if you were going to be selling this product in like a crafts show, or even if you are going to put it in the mail from Etsy, it's nice to have a tag on your things. So I went back into Cricut Design Space and I hit images and searched for the word tag. I found this really pretty one that's pink here, though I am going to change the color to white because I'm going to use white cardstock to make my tag, and it's just a little bit easier to see what I'm going to be doing. I resized it a little bit, and once I go up here and change the color to white, I'm then going to open a text box and write on it so I can put words on top of my tag. The text that I was initially going to choose was for $30. However, I already made a cup, so I thought I'd go ahead and write cup. And then I realign it so everything's in the center, and I'm going to resize it to fit my tag. So I decided to make the tag really big so you guys could see it really, really well. And when you are at craft shows, that is my suggestion. Make sure your tags are really quite large, even if they look larger than your product, because then people can see the price right away and they don't have to ask you how much everything costs. So I then again put a square around the tag and the words so those could be attached together. And I decided I wanted to print the words with my Cricut pen. So I went to the top and I changed the words from a basic cut to draw with my pen, and I made it in a writing style so it would draw the line straight out. And then I looked for a different font and decided I didn't want to do a different font. So here I am just duplicating my tag. I'm going to make 3 of them, and I do that at the top right hand corner, and then I'm ready to send it to my maker to cut. I'm going to be doing this, of course, on a mat because I'm just making some little tags, and I am going to go ahead and pick cardstock for my medium that I'm going to use. Then I'm going to take my pen that came with my Cricut machine, and I'm going to make sure I put it all the way down into slot A until it clicks, and then we're going to start with my print and then cut. So it's going to print with the pen first when I hit the play button, and once it starts printing, it goes really, really quickly. We're not printing that much. You could print a whole tag. You could put like exactly what's in the product that you are selling them on your tag. You could actually draw out your logo if your logo wasn't as intricate as mine on your tag. There's so many different ways you can do that. And then my machine automatically, without having to prompt me to do anything, will cut the tag out. And then you have perfect little tags that you can put on your items. Now, I absolutely love this, and you can see I have a lot of space left at the top of my tag. I peeled my backing off, and I did have to use a spatula to pull off the tags, but then I decided I'm going to take my small little vinyl, printable vinyl pieces and attach them to the tag. This is a great way to get your logo out there and for people to see it and have it on the product that you're actually selling them when they take it home. It reminds them of where they got it from. And I always, at craft shows, on the back of my tag, wrote a little thank you for your purchase note in my handwriting. But I should have showed you, you can do that with Cricut. If you write out a note and then you scan it into your printer, you could turn around and then put it on the back of a tag for that too. So as you can see, I just cut out some of the other little vinyl pieces, and I'm actually going to put that inside the cup as an extra giveaway too for whoever buys the product. And then I also have my tag on there. And how cute is that? So as you can see, using your Cricut to put your logo on your merchandise, even on a tag or a free little giveaway, is a perfect way to market yourself. So now on to our last project. If you guys have been on my channel a while, you know that I say I'm extra all the time. So I made this little decal and I uploaded it in Cricut Design Space. I'm just going to do this as a print only because I'm going to be using iron-on, smart iron-on, because we're using my Maker 3 and you do not need a mat for smart products. So we're going to click without a mat. And I'm going to remember to mirror my project so it prints out so that it shows up the correct way after I iron it on. And we are going to go in and choose glitter iron-on because if you're extra, you need glitter. I'm going to be taking my roll holder and putting it down because I'm using a large roll of glitter iron-on from Cricut, and I love this gold iron-on. I've used it before for project for my granddaughter. And then I'm just going to let the machine do its thing. First it measures to make sure I have enough material, and then it prompts me to hit the play button, and it cuts it out really fast. The Cricut Maker 3 cuts 2 times faster than the Cricut Maker, and it can cut up to 300 different materials, and I absolutely love this glitter iron-on. Then I'm going to go on to Cricut's heat guide to make sure that I am going to use my Easy Press 2 at the proper setting to put this iron-on a t-shirt. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to let them know what type of material that I'm using and what kind of iron-on I'm using, and it says to do 330 degrees for 30 minutes. I'm going to follow the instructions specifically for that product and that type of material with my Easy Press 2 that's on the heat guide, and they have a guide for every type of material practically on there. And so then I prepped my material by cleaning off with a lint roller, and I heated it up for 5 seconds first before I put down my decal. And now I'm just lifting my Easy Press down and holding it for the 30 seconds. Then I'm going to put it over to the other side because my project is quite large and I want to make sure that I get it all on there properly in doing it again. And then I lift it straight up and I'm going to let it completely cool down until I pull off the extra paper. And look at how cool that is. I love how this shirt turned out, and it will be a great piece to wear at a craft show. And if you do craft shows, maybe next time check and see if they have the ability for you to use electricity, or if you can bring your own. If you can, bring your Cricut and your Easy Press, because that would be the best way, the coolest way to stand out from the crowd, customizing all of the items that you sell right there on the spot. You would outshine all of the other vendors for sure. So I want to thank Cricut for sponsoring this video. I want to thank all of you guys for coming along for the ride. And if you are looking for a new Cricut, I will have their link down in the description down below. Go over there and check them out and see which machine will work perfectly for you. But that is it, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye, loves.